Tough loss for the Spurs tonight. They fall to the Dallas Mavericks by a score of 123-109. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. I'm Chris Duel along with Michael Bartlett. Currently, Bill Schoening speaking with Spurs assistant coach Matt Nielsen. We'll listen in on that.
Which is always a blessing in team sport. And so I think all those things combined, good things are going to happen, and you just have to stay the course and understand these things happen, but learn a little bit from it and move on.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much for taking the time to call in. We appreciate that, and have a safe road trip, okay?
I appreciate it. Thanks very much. I'll speak to you later.
Okay, Matt, thank you. That is Matt Nielsen, assistant coach for the Spurs. Giving credit to Dallas, and they certainly did come out on fire. Kristaps Porzingis, very, very tough tonight. 32 points for Kristaps Porzingis. As we look at some of these individual numbers, Doncic also finished with 32.
Hello, Dean.
For Luka Doncic, 32 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds. He had 6 threes in this ballgame. Also in double figures in the starting lineup for Dallas, Dorian Finney-Smith with 15 points and 7 boards. He had 3 assists and a blocked shot. Dwight Powell, 6 points, 4 boards, and 5 points for Tim Hardaway Jr. He was just 2 of 11 from the floor and 0 of 5 from three-point range.
Leland Bruce, welcome in.
Bench by Jalen Brunson. 17 points for Brunson. He had 3 assists. That's the lowest point total for Brunson against the Spurs this season. He had 19 and 31 in the 2 previous games. 7 points for Reggie Bullock.
Hello, Brian Birdie.
Brown chipped in 3.
Chris Gonzalez.
For the Spurs,
USA 2-0 over Mexico in the
leading scorer came off the bench.
World Cup qualifier. That's good.
Tonight off the bench in 30 minutes. He was 6 of 11 from the floor, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line for Devin Vassell. Among the starters, DeJounte Murray had 15 points. He added 5 rebounds and 4 assists. He was 7 of 14 from the field. Keldon Johnson had 15 points and 9 boards. Just 5 of 14, though, from the field. 3 of his field goals, though, were three-pointers, so it was good to see him knock down a couple of threes. He was 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. Doug McDermott had 14 points and 5 of 7 shooting, 4 of 5 from three-point range, and 12 points for Drew Eubanks, along with 8 rebounds. He did foul out of the ballgame. He had 3 assists. Did Drew Eubanks. Derek White just 2 of 5 from the field tonight. He had 5 points and 5 assists. Off the bench, we mentioned Vassell with 20, 10 for Lonnie Walker IV, who was just 3 of 11 and 1 of 6 from three-point range. Thaddeus Young was 4 of 7 for the field, 9 points, 5 assists, and a couple of rebounds and a steal for Thaddeus Young. Katie Bates-Diop did not play, still bothered by that sore lower back. Trey Jones chipped in 4 points. Bryn Forbes with 5. Forbes 2 of 4 from the field. It adds up to 123 for the Mavs. 109 for the Spurs.
Welcome in,
Ofa.
Ofa.
Spurs see their record drop to 4-8, and the Mavs improve to 8-4. We will have more from the AT&T Center when Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
BC Powder
knows life pushes us. Bill Schoening with his wrap-up. Sergio Lozano. Sergio says we'll get used to it this year. The Spurs will have ups and downs. Yeah, I was hoping for a better performance tonight. This is, this happens. Let's see. Foam Foot 420, a.k.a. Amber. Amber, do you ever sleep? You're up first thing in the morning. You're dancing at Cowboys Dance Hall till 2 in the morning. Luisa Alani says, what a bummer of a game. I'm upset. Yeah, I went into this one pretty confident. The Spurs, the first 2 games against the Mavericks were close, tight, down to the wire. And this one was a blowout. Mavs led by 9 at the end of one quarter, 31-22. They were up by 9 at halftime, 68-57. Then they really expanded their lead by the end of 3 quarters. Mavericks led 102-77 and cruised to the 123-109 victory. On YouTube, Amber says, I don't see any sleep in my future. Amber, sleep is good for you. I'm a big fan of the sleep. Jason Salinas said we needed Jakob Poeltl for this one. I agree. And if you listen just now, Jason, here's Bill Schoening. I'll give you some more Bill Schoening, and I'll get back.
Folks, the First Mark Credit Union. Trey Jones is our player spotlight tonight. In his second year from Duke, Trey Jones was able to play in this evening's ball game. Played 14 minutes, chipped in 4 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. Trey Jones, of course, is the younger brother of Tyus Jones, who's been an NBA veteran for 6 years now. Trey Jones In his second year from Duke, the 41st pick of the 20 draft by the Spurs, he averaged 23 points and 6 assists in the Summer League. Player Spotlight brought to you by First Mark Credit Union. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification along the San Antonio Spurs radio network.
News Radio 1200 WOAI, San Antonio's breaking news, traffic, and weather.
For every fast break point the Spurs score this year, Break Check donates $20 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of San Antonio. It's a win for the Spurs and for the kids. And we've talked about the fast break earlier in this ballgame, earlier in this broadcast this evening. In fact, we were visiting with assistant coach Matt Nielsen. The Spurs unable to get that fast break going because they were unable to force turnovers in this ballgame. Only 6 turnovers committed by
Lakers on
Dallas
Sunday,
Mavericks.
by
So
the way.
Never did get their fast break going.
In LA.
Let's see tonight with just 5 fast break points. But for every fast break point the Spurs score, the fine folks at Break Check donate $20 to the Boys and Girls Club of San Antonio. The final tonight, Dallas 123, San Antonio 109. And next up for the Spurs, they play the LA Lakers at Staples. And that game will tip at 2:30 on Sunday afternoon. We'll be there at 2 o'clock with Spurs Radio Game Day. The final from the AT&T Center, Mavs over the Spurs 123 to 109. This is Spurs Radio.
The 19th.
Yeah, Amber, I was hoping you could connect with Shannon since she's in town. She's making her way. She's I don't know where her hotel is. She's somewhere downtown. But it's too bad, since you're going to be down at the Riverwalk, too bad you two can't connect. That would have been cool for her. I wish that would have happened. Louisa says Derek has been terrible. Oh, let me see what Derek's numbers were. He won't be terrible for long, Louisa, I don't think. He's generally good. Let's see, Derek White. 2 out of 5. He didn't take that many shots. 1 of 2 free throws. Wound up with 5 points in 22 minutes. Yeah, as a starter, you want him to shoot more and make more. 5 assists and 2 turnovers for Derek White. Yeah, pretty lackluster. I wouldn't say a god-awful. Yeah, Brian Birdie, picture-in-picture on Sunday. Luckily, and hopefully you're a Cowboys fan, Cowboys play at noon. Spurs play at 2:30. So certainly, yeah, fourth quarter of that Cowboys game will be, I'll have it on, obviously, here in the studio. Sergio saying Derek White has been consistently bad since the beginning of the season. Let me check something with Michael. Am I next? All right, I've got to do a segment here on the radio. Let me see the problem. Amber, my phone is currently being used to shoot Michael. I don't have a phone that's functional right now. Here we go. From the Spurs Net Center, I'm Chris Duel. Final score tonight at the AT&T Center. The Dallas Mavericks defeated the San Antonio Spurs 123 to 109. Programming note on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. Our Spurs React is coming your way in just a few minutes. Michael Bartlett and I will react to tonight's tough loss to the Dallas Mavericks. 10 other games in the NBA tonight. Let's look at the scoreboard. Games in progress. Midway fourth quarter in Denver, Nuggets lead the Atlanta Hawks 94 to 81. 4:02 to go before halftime in San Francisco. Golden State Warriors lead the Chicago Bulls 41 to 38. Final minute of the first quarter in Los Angeles. Lakers lead the Minnesota Timberwolves 23 to 15. Don't forget Spurs headed to LA to take on the Lakers. 2:30 tip-off, 2 o'clock pregame show on Sunday. Final scores tonight in the NBA. Hornets beat the Knicks 104 to 96. In overtime, the Celtics beat the Bucks 122 to 113. It was the Cavs over the Pistons 98 to 78. The Blazers beat the Rockets 104 to 92. Suns over the Grizzlies 119 to 94. Nets beat the Pelicans 120 to 112. And the Oklahoma City Thunder in a tight one beat the Sacramento Kings 105-103. Once again, Spurs React coming at you on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI, and across the Spurs Radio network on 1200 WOAI's Facebook and Twitter pages as well, streaming live video. After a quick wrap-up from Bill Schoening at the AT&T Center, where the Spurs fall tonight to the Dallas Mavericks, 123-109. Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients.
See, Michael says UTSA birds up. Amen. We need to see how many people are going to show up tomorrow to watch the 9-0 undefeated UTSA Roadrunners. Frank Ramirez says Salty is loving tonight's game. Yeah, she's a Mavericks fan. So I guess I should be happy that she's happy, right? I want her to be happy. I just don't want the Spurs to lose. I think there's other ways to make her happy. Let's see here. Pat O'Brien's. Tell you what, soon as React ends, and Amber, if you're on Twitter, Shannon is on Twitter at Shannon B. Sweeney. Same for Instagram, that's the same handle, and on TikTok. But if you're on Twitter, tweet at her, and she'll probably, if you tag her on Twitter, she'll see it. See, Ralph says, Ralph says the early numbers are 43,000 for tomorrow's UTSA game. I hope there'll be a lot of walk-up. Would be nice to get over 50,000 tomorrow, Ralph. I hope so. Louisa said, feed Shannon. That makes her happy. Very funny. Sergio Lozano says, I've heard rumors of 50K showing up tomorrow. Here's Bill rapping.
The senior director of broadcasting is Mike Kigarillo. Liz Canonas handles commercial traffic along with Leah Resendez. Our broadcast engineer, Sam Walters. Our statistician, Walter Stoops. The next game of the Spurs Sunday afternoon at the Lakers. That's a 2:30 start. It's an afternoon game. We'll be in the air at 2 o'clock on Spurs Radio Game Day. As always, for all things Spurs, follow us on Twitter, Spurs.com, or the Spurs app. Our studio
Pack the dome. Amen, Michael.
Host Chris Duel. This is Bill Schoening. Thank you so much for joining us this evening along the San Antonio Spurs Radio Network. Our final score, Dallas 123, San Antonio 109. This has been a presentation of Spurs Sports and Entertainment and the National Basketball Association. All rights reserved. Good night, everybody.
Spurs Radio Game.
And one of the bad things about tonight's loss, it was game one with the new Fiesta jerseys, the new Fiesta uniforms. I wanted those to be undefeated. I wanted to win in those, especially the first time they wore those. So, yeah. Louisa says Coach Jeff Traylor wants 35,000 plus in the – I want 50. I want 50,000. Oh, hang on. He's talking to me. I didn't hear you one more time.
I said we'll go to 13 because we'll get in at like 8, and that'll be 5 minutes.
Works for me.
Okay.
All right. So I'll just do a few, throw numbers out, go to you.
Learn more. I mean, if you want to do that, I mean, we can just get straight into it if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, yeah. All right.
That's to a jackpot.
Keep an eye on it. We'll shoot for 13.
Scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. They have top
You'll hear from Michael Bartlett here in a moment.
up to $1 million that you can win in an instant just by scratching. And you don't need to hunt for your
Michael, and I'm pretty bad. When the Spurs lose, I'm in a bad mood. But when the Spurs, Michael really gets in a bad mood when the Spurs lose. We'll see what kind of mood he's in tonight. He doesn't look like he's in a good mood. Here we go. All right, Amber, have fun at Pat O'Brien's. I'll get that information to Shannon. Well, that was a tough loss tonight for the San Antonio Spurs. Welcome in. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. I'm Chris Duel along with Michael Bartlett. Final score tonight from the AT&T Center. The Dallas Mavericks defeated the San Antonio Spurs 123-109. This was unlike the two previous matchups between the Spurs and the Mavs because those games went down to the wire in the fourth quarter. As we went into the fourth quarter tonight, this one wasn't very close. The Mavs led after three quarters 102-77, and they cruised to a 123-109 victory over the San Antonio Spurs tonight. With the loss, the Spurs record falls to 4-8. And with that win, the Mavericks record improves to 8-4. Spurs actually outshot the Mavs from the field, 48.8% to 46%. And the Spurs had a better three-point percentage, 43.3 to 40%. But the Mavericks took 45 three-point attempts and made 18 three-pointers. The Spurs took only 30 three-point attempts and made 13. So the Mavs made 5 more three-point shots than the Spurs did. Spurs will try to regroup. They go on the road to Staples Center in Los Angeles, where they'll take on the Los Angeles Lakers day game on Sunday. 2:30 tip. That means we'll be on the air at 2 o'clock. I want to check in with Michael Bartlett, who makes the entire broadcast go from beginning to end. Michael, I felt good about this going in because they played the Mavericks tough each of the last 2 games. Spurs were trying to win 2 in a row tonight, but it was just not to be.
Yeah, the one thing that Dallas didn't have in those first 2 games was, Kristaps Porzingis, and he played to the potential that he has known to play for. An all-star caliber player, had 23 plus points in the first half, hit that buzzer beater at the end of the first half. It just was not the night for the Spurs tonight. They were outmatched, outsized. You're really starting to see the absence of Jakob Poeltl. Just not that he would have been able to shut down or contain Kristaps, but just maybe make it more challenging, or being able to get more rebounds. Just being a nuisance. It was that you clearly saw tonight how outsized they were when Kristaps was on the floor. The other night, 62, 65 points from the bench. Tonight, yeah, they get about 40 tonight, but most of the night it was because that was all in garbage. Other than that, it was Devin Vassell and Trae Young and Thaddeus Young were pretty much the only guys that scored. Lonnie didn't play well. He had 10 points, but again, all of that was in garbage. And Derek White, I hate to sound like a broken record, but Derek White has been a no-show the past couple of games. Even if he's playing great defense, I brought this up, you still have to score. You have to score points, and 5 points is not enough for one of my starting guards in this league. I don't know if maybe Pop will look at readjusting the lineups, bringing maybe Lonnie to start or Bryn to start, but it wasn't their night. This was more of a worse loss than the Pacers game, because at least in the Pacers game, it was, the Pacers were just shooting lights out, and you just kind of tip your cap to them. The Mavericks got out early, and we just could not close that gap. They got up 16 more shots than the Spurs did, and they outmuscled them tonight. You saw it; they outmuscled them. Hopefully, Jakob Poeltl will be back soon, because we're clearly starting to see the absence of our starting center. As great as Drew Eubanks has been playing, you still need another big. You need another big, and as much as Thaddeus has been playing well, he's just unfortunately not the height-wise of a Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget Jakob Poeltl was originally a lottery pick for the Toronto Raptors. Jakob Poeltl has a lot of skills, and before he went out for those health and safety protocols, he was really playing very, very well for the Spurs. So we hope he gets back soon. Spurs will try again on the road in Los Angeles at Staples Center on Sunday. Don't forget, it's an afternoon game at 2:30. So our Spurs radio game day with the voice of the San Antonio Spurs, Bill Schoening, will be at 2 o'clock on Sunday. For Bill Schoening, another great call in his 21st year as the radio voice of the San Antonio Spurs. We thank Bill for all of his great work. Big thanks as well to on-site engineer Sam Walters, veteran statistician Walter Stoops, the man you just heard, who makes the entire broadcast go from beginning to end, Michael Bartlett. For all those gentlemen, I am Chris Duel. Once again, the final score tonight from the AT&T Center, the Dallas Mavericks beat the San Antonio Spurs 123-109. We will see you on Sunday afternoon as the Spurs will try to get a road win against the Los Angeles Lakers. You've been listening to Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. All right, y'all. Frank, Fonzie, Louisa, Leland, anybody else who might be in here? Go Spurs, go. Go Longhorns, go Cowboys, go Roadrunners. See y'all later. Have a good weekend. See you on Sunday. Adios.